Welcome back to the Healing Hotline. I'm your host, Jessica Trambarger. Remember how I told y'all in the other episode that anger was a big reason why I was dealing with acne? Where I got that from was a TikTok video that I had seen, and this girl was using this book, and I got the book. The book is called The Secret Language of Your Body by Anna Siegel. This shit is fucking crazy, okay? This book has so many different things that you might be dealing with in your body, like a shit ton of them. I'm pretty sure it has all of them. Like, it has some ones where I was like, what the fuck, like how? Basically, this book tells you the energetic reason, like the root energetic reason as to why you're dealing with something. Like, this book is this is the cheat code, because basically, if you don't deal with whatever is the root cause of your physical ailment, you're gonna keep dealing with it over and over again. That's why people they go into remission, and that's why they deal with certain things over and over again. Not necessarily cancer, but that's why you go through this cycle, is because you haven't solved the energetic root of it. This will show you. Okay, so let me tell you what I'm talking about, because this shit blew my mind. TikTok video that I saw, the person just read the reasoning for acne, right? But there's different types of acne that you can have. There's cystic, there's blackheads, there's rosacea, and there's just so many different skin conditions, right? So I realized that you can look into the different ones, and I was like, well, let's see the ones that I was, past tense, right? The ones that I was dealing with. So let me read this to y'all, because this shit blew my mind. It low-key is gonna read you for filth, and if you are a person that wants to stay in victim mode, this book is not for you, okay? Because look, you're not gonna like what you hear, but it's medicine don't taste good, right? But it heals. You know what I mean? It should, at least. It depends what type of medicine you're taking, right? So anyway, let's look. So just acne by itself even has bad breath, bro. Should I read that? I feel let's read bad breath, because we all know somebody with bad breath, bro. We've all come across somebody with bad breath, and I'm just so intrigued. We have to read this first. It's a little segue. Okay, where are you? 130. Okay, bad breath. Oh shit. Feeling angry, wanting to keep others away. Wow, that makes sense, right? You want to keep others away, so you got bad breath. You're doing a good fucking job, bitch. Okay? Feeling unacceptable, rejected, and uncomfortable. Difficulty fitting in. Now that's crazy that I read that, right? Okay, I want y'all to keep this one in mind, because I'm going to read you what I originally was looking for, which was the acne. And I just want to show y'all, it's mind-blowing. Okay, so acne. Feeling uncomfortable in your own skin, insecure, unacceptable, rejected, not good enough, unworthy of love, holding on to self-hatred, trying to hurt and punish yourself for past mistakes, controlling, demanding unrealistic perfection from self, demanding unrealistic perfection from self, overly sensitive. And then it says, see also pimples, which is, we're gonna see that one too. But that's crazy, because the one for bad breath was basically you feel like you don't fit in. So it can manifest in different ways. Some of y'all might not be dealing with acne, but you're dealing with bad breath, you know what I mean? And so it's interesting. I don't think I was dealing with bad breath. I my oral hygiene, I've stepped it up pretty good. So I think I'm good in that department, but I manifested now in acne. And I'm would I rather have dealt with bad breath than acne? I don't know. It's kind of gross. I don't know. Anyway, let's go to pimples, because this This whole book is literally mind-blowing. It talks about blisters, even bruising, cellulite, chicken pox. What the heck? Okay, I'm getting distracted. I thought this was interesting because like my mom dealt with psoriasis, and it has psoriasis in here, and one of the things for psoriasis was like basically like feeling like guilty or whatever, and I was like, so motherfuckers did have feelings. It's interesting, like if you know certain things that your parents dealt with, you can look it up in here and then you can see like the root cause of that, and it gives you a bigger perspective. You're like, oh shit, like blows your fucking mind. This book blows my mind. Okay, pimples, and this is for occasional pimples. Frustration and angry outbursts, not getting what you want, feeling unaccepted and inadequate, not liking yourself, feeling provoked, irritated, teased, uncomfortable in your own skin. Main thing that you're seeing is like not fitting in, not feeling accepted. Now they didn't have cystic acne in here, but what they did have that I thought was pretty interesting was dry skin. So I had been dealing with dry skin, and I was like, okay, well, let me look it up. Let me see what they say. Dry skin, feeling misunderstood, unsure of how to express yourself and interest others in your ideas, loss of inspiration and vitality, feeling left out, pushed aside. Are you seeing a theme here? I'm going to read one more. It's rosacea, which is another thing that I had been dealing with my face. Shame, embarrassment, guilt, desire to be seen, acknowledged, and accepted, overwhelmed by bad feelings that you have been forbidden to express. Trying to be good and please others instead of exploring who you truly are. Constantly doubting yourself and changing your mind. Oh my gosh. I think it's crazy because it's literally highlighting something that I have been dealing with for the longest, and it's just not feeling seen, right? Feeling like, oh damn, like my TikToks, they stay in the 200, 300 view range, not too much engagement, not too many likes, right? That's okay, whatever. It's, I chucked it up, to the content creator journey. It's not my time right now, blah, blah, blah. I'm helping the people I'm supposed to help, whatever, right? I think my inner child felt like she wasn't enough because my parents decided to have another kid. Like, damn, was I not enough kid for you that you had to go have another one? You know what I mean? And this is like, I'm not even trying to like be mean towards my sister, but this is just the reality of it. Like how I felt as a kid, and I can't, like kids, they see stuff differently, and this is why we develop into the way that we are, because like your adult self probably wouldn't interpret these things this way, but when you're a kid, it's totally different, and you can't really control that. And that is where like I feel like I never really was seen. It's like I never felt seen by my parents. I remember one time I was in school, my dad, he did not fuck with anything lower than a B minus. Your ass was like excuse me, what the fuck? So a C, pretty much you're done. A C, if I got a C in anything, I was like fucking fuck, like I was crying, and I was like I already knew that he was gonna be mad, right? This is how fucking ridiculous it was. So one time I was working my ass off in school because I was like trying to get good grades, and when my report card came out, it was all B's, and I was like, whew, thank goodness, yes, I got all B's. Like he's gonna be like, cool, like good, like no C's, nothing. You're good, right? I'm like, yes, proud. Give him my report card. He said, where's the A's? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, I want to cry just talking about it, because I'm just like, damn, like parents don't realize like how fucked up they are sometimes. Like, dude, like bitch, I tried so fucking hard in school, like, and you're gonna fucking sit here and tell me where's the A's? You fucking asshole. Like most parents don't even give a fuck about okay, at least you're passing. They don't care if the kid get a C, whatever, blah blah blah. Like, this man, like, so I feel like I do that to myself now, where I feel like what I do isn't good enough. I always am trying to improve, you know. There's nothing wrong with that, but you have to acknowledge, like, damn, bitch, you did a good fucking job. You are great where you're at right now. Like, applaud yourself, you know what I mean? And a lot of the stuff that I was dealing with my skin as well was like, kind of like criticizing yourself, like being overly judgmental and trying to be way too perfect. And that's what I was doing with like my motherhood journey. Like, I was like really wanting to be perfect. And honestly, I think this might be a good segue into my birth story for my baby, because this is where it stems from too. I was really judging myself for the way that my birth went, even though I could not control that, because I was manifesting everything the whole way. So like the whole time with my pregnancy, I had an amazing pregnancy, like looking good, feeling good, like amazing. Like, people were like, damn girl, what the fuck? And I'm like telling people, like, I'm literally just affirming, like, I'm just keeping the good vibes, you know. Like, I mean, of course I have my shields and I do all that. Like, I didn't go to no doctors or nothing like that. I wanted to do a water birth. And so I just planned on later on in my pregnancy going to midwives, because I was not fucking with the ultrasound shit. Like, I saw this documentary that basically said that, like, when your baby's getting an ultrasound, like, they hear that shit, and it's like a fucking like high-pitched screeching type shit. It's not good noises, and that's why they're moving so much. And once I saw that documentary, I said, I don't know when I'm gonna have a baby, but I ain't doing that shit. And I stuck to it, and I'm really proud of that. But no shame to anybody that does get ultrasounds, but that's just what I chose. I wasn't gonna do none of that shit. I wasn't gonna do none of that shit. And especially not that whole, like, I feel like they torture, like, the pregnant women. They be like, drink this shit, do all this shit. Why? I didn't do none of that shit. I didn't do none of the tests. I didn't do none of that shit that they put you through when you're pregnant. Like, I didn't do that. So when I went in, I thought I was 7 months pregnant, but it turns out I was 6 months pregnant. So I did end up having to get an ultrasound at that time, and that's when I found out that, like, I was totally wrong about the sex of my baby. I had used my pendulum, and it was telling me it was a boy for the longest, and then all of a sudden it was a girl. Now, I was jumping timelines a lot. Like, I was like, okay, I want to be in this timeline, and I was like switching things about my reality, because I was actively manifesting how I wanted pretty much everything to go. I was like manifesting a lot of different things, right? So when you're doing that, you're constantly shifting your reality. So I would see signs that the universe was sending me that, like, I might have been having a girl, but I didn't want to believe it. I was like, I don't know. Like, I asked my pendulum, and it told me no. And like, even like people that were seers, like, they saw a boy, but then all of a sudden it was a girl that pops up. Anyway, so long story short, be careful jumping timelines when you're fucking pregnant, because you might end up switching the sex. And some people might be like, well, you didn't know before, so how do you know? And I'm just like, bitch, I know. I'm magical as fuck. Now, if you don't want to believe me, I'm gonna go fuck. I'm just saying, be mindful what you're doing. I have to go get the ultrasound. That's when we also realized that the baby is in like the breech position. But this is fine because it's still pretty early in the pregnancy, so it's like, okay, whatever. And so like the midwives and stuff, like, they had me watching these videos, these birthing videos of like people doing breech births, because like a breech birth, like, if you're gonna give a breech, is like when you're, if you don't know what breech is, it's just like your baby is supposed to be head down, baby is like head up, like if they're just the other way. So like basically, if you were to give birth with a breech baby, they would come out with their butt first, like kind of like folded, or yeah, more than likely they were going to be folded. It's just basically like you're making it way harder for yourself, and like it's usually not advised, but I didn't know that. Okay, like when I was like in high school, when they did like the sex ed class or whatever, I transferred like right when I was about to take that class. And I think that when I went to the new school, that class was like for the, I don't even think they had a fucking sex ed class in that school. No, they didn't. That was a fucking problem there too. So I don't know none of this shit about birthing stuff. Like besides the YouTube videos I watch, like they feel like as a woman, like every woman should kind of like take a class. Like they should be required in school. I don't know. Does that weird though? Because then is it like, you know, like we don't want to promote teen pregnancy, but you know what I mean? Like it kind of has to be known at some point along the journey. I don't know. I guess it's a job as a woman, but it's weird. Like no one tells you, hey, you should kind of know these things. So there's a lot of things that I didn't know, and we're going to keep that in mind, okay? They're having me watch these breech births, and I'm like, damn, the shit looks rough, but I was like, but like if these women can do it, like why can't I? You know what I mean? Like I'm definitely like, if the universe is showing me someone else doing it, like I could do it, right? Well, that's not always the case. Sometimes the universe be trying to scare you straight, and I ain't listening. But anyway, so watching these videos, and then I'm thinking, okay, like I'm watching these breech birth videos, but at the same time I'm like not really too worried about it, because I'm like, I know my baby's gonna turn around. Like she gonna get together. She gonna get it together, right? Meanwhile, I'm manifesting all of these different things about like how I want my boobs to like be nice and perky, but I also want to be able to breastfeed, and I want my body to like snap back. I don't want my pussy to like I didn't want my pussy to like rip, you know. I was like, please just keep my vagina intact. And so I'm manifesting all these different things, right? And then so my water broke on a Friday, and I gave birth on a Monday, okay? Now, if you have taken some sort of like sex ed class, or you know something about pregnancy and stuff like that, you know that like if it don't happen within the first 24 hours, you're supposed to go to the motherfucking hospital. Well, me, I didn't know that. But apparently almost everyone around me knew that, except my husband. He didn't know either. But everybody else knew. But they didn't tell me, because the midwives were basically saying like, you can go up to, I forgot how many hours. I think they said like 72 hours or something like that, without having to go to the hospital, right? So my baby is just like, she's not, like nothing is happening. And then the midwife says that I am dilated, like I think she said like 8.5 centimeters or whatever. So, you know, we're trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. My baby's not coming out. I'm fucking like, whoa, this is like ridiculous. Like the amount of contractions that I was having and shit, which contractions really just feel like the worst period cramps ever. Like if you get really bad period cramps already, like baby, you already know what the fuck it's like, because that's what the fuck it felt like. Literally, I was like, what the fuck? But anyway, so, and it just keeps on happening. It was like, whoa. But anyway, so then like my husband was like, all right, we need to go, like let's go to the fucking hospital. So we go to the hospital. I end up having an emergency C-section. I do not get to breastfeed my baby because of the trauma. Like my milk literally just never fucking came through. Did snap back though. It pretty much like body looking great, titties looking great, because I didn't have to breastfeed. So you know, like I got half of my manifestations, but like what I realized was like my manifestations were contradicting each other, you know. But my pussy did stay intact because I had an emergency C-section. And honestly, like if I were to have a kid again, I would definitely say C-section me up. But I'm not doing that shit ever again, because that in itself was fucking traumatic. When they had me on the table for like doing the like, for opening me up or whatever. Like, I was shaking like a, how dogs shake when they're fucking cold. I was shaking like that, and I could not stop. It was so embarrassing. I was like, oh my god, why can't I stop shaking? But I was so scared. Because like, I avoided hospitals, one, because of the ultrasound shit, but also because I don't really like doctors like that. Like, I'm like, I had a lot of preconceived notions, and I'm grateful for the experience because I realized that, like, we do need the medical, that everybody has their role, and they do have a role, so it helped to humble me in a way. But the very cool thing was, all before I gave birth, I would do this thing where I would send out energy, like loving energy, to different places, right? And we would drive past this one hospital that was like close to our home all the time, and I would send energy there. And in my mind, my ego was making me think that I was like doing it for all the people that were like getting COVID shots. Like, I was like trying to transmute the energy that was in the shots because, anyway, so I was trying to transmute the energy, right? That's what I was thinking I was doing. So the hospital that I would always send that good energy to actually ended up being the hospital that I had my emergency C-section at. And the people there were so nice to me. Like, we had such a good experience there. And I know a lot of people, there's like mixed reviews. Some people have good experiences, some don't. But I truly believe that, like, me having a good experience was because I was sending lots and lots of love there. But my baby she ended up fine. We did have to stay like a few days, so they had her in the NICU just to make sure that like she was good, just because like she was breech and like my water had broken for so long. They wanted to make sure everything was good with her, but she was good. So I was really grateful for that. We got to the hospital. They told me that I was not 8.5 centimeters dilated. I was more so like 6 centimeters dilated when I went into the hospital. So they told me that the baby was never going to come out vaginally, and I was basically pushing up against a brick wall. Now, when they told me that, I was fucking pissed. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So the midwife basically didn't really know what the fuck she was doing. And after that, I was supposed to have some follow-up appointments with them. I told them, I'm not doing that shit. I'm not giving y'all no fucking money, because you literally put not only my life at risk, but my baby's life at risk. And the nurses and everybody were completely shocked that we were even attempting a breech birth. And they were not happy about that. And so from the whole experience, I think that like since then, I have been kind of like disappointed in myself in a way, because I didn't manifest that water birth, and feeling like I wasn't able to talk about how to manifest like having a good pregnancy, because like the birth was like quote unquote unsuccessful. But like, I need to be real with myself. Like, there's nothing that I could have did to control that, And not only that, like, I feel like everything happened exactly how it's supposed to. Like, okay, so I don't get to be the person that says like, oh, I had a vaginal birth. But like, what the fuck type of stupid ass, like, what type of weird ass flex is that? Like, girl, get over yourself. Show me your baby. Is it cute? Like, they're not even, and that doesn't even need to be cute. You know what I mean? Like, but like, are you a good parent? Like, how's your relationship with your kid? I don't give a fuck how you push them out. They're here. But I think society has like this stupid thing with these fucking labels and these fucking trends, and we just fall into this shit, and it's just so stupid. I have just shut myself down from even talking about like motherhood aspects and all of this stuff, because it's like, well, you did have a good pregnancy, but your birth didn't go as planned, so like you can't talk about this shit. But yes, the fuck I can, because the information that I have is so fucking helpful. People don't even know that they could come and ask me, because I don't talk about the shit. So it's like, I'm so grateful that I have this podcast, and that's why I called it the Healing Hotline, because I'm just dialing it up, and I'm healing. I'm healing, and I'm speaking, and I'm sharing my truth, and I really hope that I'm helping other people, and I know that I am. I believe that I am, because if I'm helping myself, god damn it, I know I can help anybody, because shit. Shit. So get this fucking, you don't have to get this book. If you don't want to get this book, I want you to write into the show and tell me what it is that you're dealing with, and we're gonna look it up on here, and we're gonna go through and figure out what is the root cause. What can you stop doing in order to heal? Because I know in order for me to heal, I have to, validate myself, and like not be so hard on myself. Like, know that I'm doing a great fucking job. I have did a great job. I have done amazing things, and I need to be proud of them and express them and share them, and not be afraid to say that, like, yeah, there is this thing called a sibling wound, and it doesn't need to be like you hate your sibling, but it's okay to say, like, damn, I wish I could have received all of my parents' love. Like, what would my life had been like if I could have got my parents' love to myself? Because that's what it comes down to, is like, I didn't feel like I was seen by them at all. And that's not necessarily like one was getting more attention than the other. I think we were both deprived of the attention that we deserved, because they had to, like, how do you split yourself like that? So the whole situation with my dog was essentially showing me that I would not be able to handle more than one kid. And I think that it's really good to be able to recognize that before you end up having more kids, and essentially traumatizing them and creating more of that generational trauma that we were trying to erase in the first place. It may seem a little bit extreme that this is what I had to go through, but my spirit team was showing me that if I did move forward and decide to have more kids, I wouldn't be able to handle it, not only mentally, but physically. It would take a toll on my physical health, because acne is just like a first sign of something deeper going on. You know what I mean? So if the things would have progressed, it would have turned into something even worse. And if I cannot handle my dog and a baby, how the fuck would I handle more than one kid, which is even more responsibility than a dog? One of the aspects of generational healing for me that I realized through this whole situation was I had to sit down and make a promise to my inner child that I was not going to even attempt to have another kid. And honestly, that's something that I have been that's a decision that I've actually made a little while ago, when I first started my motherhood journey and realized how, intense it was. But my inner child really wanted me to promise her that I wasn't going to go back on that decision. And everything that I have been experiencing is just more evidence of why I should stick to that decision and should stick to that promise. Now, this is a big aspect of healing that a lot of people don't want to consider, but there are certain things that work for certain people, and there's certain things that don't work for certain people. So for me, having multiple kids is not going to work for the type of healing that I want to do. And I think it would be really healing for me to give all of my love just to my daughter and obviously my husband, but like that parental love, to give it just to her. That is a major part of my healing. Kudos to the parents that are doing really amazing and that can do that, but also, like, be so real with yourself. And if you are a parent where you feel like, damn, I'm not as present as I would like to be, like, try being a little more present, because I promise you that is what's lacking. There is no connection. I hope that somebody takes this as their sign to stop being so hard on yourself. You wouldn't treat other people this way. And that's really what it comes down to. Is like, you would not treat other people this way, so why are you treating yourself this way? Give yourself the love that you would give to others, And if you're not the type that would give love to others, then you need to give the love to yourself that you would have given to your childhood self. Don't think about honoring yourself right here, right now, if you can't. Think about honoring little you. Little baby you. Whatever 5-year-old, 3-year-old, maybe the 10-year-old you, maybe it's the 15-year-old you. Start being kinder to yourself. And I'm talking to myself as well. I'm always talking to myself. But start being kinder to yourself and giving yourself a pat on the back. And like what I've started doing, because I'm a pendulum queen and I use it for healing, so duh, why wouldn't I? So what I do is whenever I'm like thinking like, damn, did I do the right thing? Like when it comes to my kid or whatever, like should I have done that or should I have done this or blah, 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 right? I just ask my pendulum, did I do the right thing? Or should I do this thing? Or should I do that thing? I just ask my pendulum, because this fucking tool right here, bruh, like everybody needs it. If you want to communicate with your spirit team and you want to be led by the divine, the pendulum, bruh, like literally. So that's why I feel more comfortable with the decisions that I've been making, and I feel more comfortable with, like realizing, okay, I'm doing a great job. The fucking voice in my head, the voice that's in my counsel, my inner counsel, we're going to talk about that in the next episode, by the way, because I think this episode is already going to be long. But the next episode is going to be about the counsel, because I'm going to start setting up these foundations so that we can truly heal. So first we got to clear out the clutter in the counsel. But there is a voice in my head, and we call that the counsel. And that voice likes to say, you're not good enough. I think that you should have did this instead. Things like that. So we banish that motherfucker, okay? Say that voice right there. You can give it a name. I'll be like the inner critic. You're banished, okay? Now, when you banish them, they gonna try to, say, are you sure? Don't you need me for this? Don't you need me for this? Don't you need me for this? And you have to find the reason why you really don't need that shit anymore. I don't need that shit, clearly, because you're fucking with my health, bro. Like, you're literally, at this point, you're fucking with my life. You have me fucked up. I'm not gonna sit here acting like an insecure motherfucker because I'm dealing with fucking acne, because I'm criticizing myself. Crazy. That's crazy. That is crazy. I'm not doing that shit. Okay? So break it down for yourself. Get this book, The Secret Language of Your Body, or you can write into the show and we'll break it down together, because this is the Healing Hotline. So anyway, I will see you guys next Sunday for another episode of the Healing Hotline. This is your host, Jessica Trambarger. Did I say that at the beginning? Anyway, this is your host, Jessica Trambarger, signing out.